1. Six. Seven. $14. 15.
Well, I was just about to say that makes the scores level. But as it is, Steve Davis still retains a 7-point lead.
Steve Davis, 29.
That was a most amazing miss by Tony.
One. Six. Seven.
That puts Steve
30.
into a 20-point lead.
$14. $21. $22.
Well, this is rather overdone, that. Going to be rather difficult to pot the black and get on to the last red. In order to do that, have to send the cue ball right round the table. He decided against that, just going to play a safety stroke.
29.
For the very good reason that he's 36 points in front now, and there's only 35 points on the table.
Foul.
Well, what a disastrous
Steve
thing to
Davis,
do in that situation.
29. Tony Knowles, 5.
Now gives 4 away there, which means
ball.
that Tony Knowles can win with the last red and a colour and all the colours. Yes, in fact, he gave 5 points away there, not 4. He hit the blue, of course. And, of course, it left a free ball, which Tony's taken a yellow as a red. There's a colour to follow. And this has certainly altered things in this second frame.
Tony Knowles,
Well, that's
6.
the one he needed.
Steve Davis, 58. Tony Knowles, 33.
25 points in the frame now. Just a red and a black. Leave Steve Davis in a pretty comfortable position.
One. Eight. 10.
We're going to see a little double here.
13. 17.
42 points in front now. Now this frame over.
22. 28.
'So the best possible start for Steve Davis. He goes into a 2-frame-to-0 lead.
Yes, Steve Davis 2 up, and it's not easy when you allow a couple of frames to slip away when you're playing the world champion. More action from this Jameson final after the break. Welcome back to Steve Davis versus Tony Knowles for the 84 Jameson title. The holder, Steve Davis, 2 frames to nothing in front. We continue the action now with frame 3.
Now Tony Knowles breaks off in the 3rd frame of this 17-frame final match. Trailing at the moment, 2 frames to 0. And his opponent, world snooker champion Steve Davis. Playing for a first prize of £30,000. The runner-up to get 18,000.
1.
Well, didn't play that hard enough to come through for the black, but it looks as if the pink will go into the middle pocket.
Seven. Eight. 40. 15. 21.
Well, he's a bit tight here. Appears to be attempting a red into the middle.
Tony Knowles, 21.
Just run out of position when things seem to be working out. And how many times in this match so far has Steve Davis put that white ball dead on that baulk cushion? And all credit to Tony for that shot. There is a red that goes into this corner pocket, and it looks as though Steve's going to take it on. Well, missed it by quite some way. And indeed, that could have turned out a lot worse for Steve, although it appears that Tony has a ball into the middle pocket. Little stun shot to stay on the pink or the black. Still not an easy shot.
One.
There you had a good shot of that ball, just managing to catch the lip and drop in. John Williams trying to put the black on its spot. It's a little bit adjacent to the pink. And that's not too good news for Tony Knowles. Going to have to play on the blue.
Nine. $40.
And apart from that little jam up of pink and black at the top of the table, the rest of the ball's in pretty good position here.
15.
And Tony Knowles into a 36-point lead. And it goes to 38.
70.
Well, black will
18.
pot from behind that pink. He could have done without that white ball getting so close to the red. And appears to land it out of position once again. Once again, John Williams at work.
25. Tony Knowles, 25.
Tony Knowles 46 points in the lead, but still some 8 or 9 reds left on the table. So this game by no means safe for Tony, and he knows it. The experience of the first frame has proved that to him.
Green ball. Tony Knowles, 1. One. Three. Four.
Now, Tony Knowles seems to be getting away with this third frame. 51 points on the board Now, Steve Davis yet to score.
Eight. Nine. 14. 15.
Steve Davis already requiring snookers.
22.
Well, that seems to have run into the worst possible position. A difficult little snick into the middle pocket here. And all of a sudden, Tony Knowles seemed to be playing with a great deal more confidence.
$30. 31. 38. 39. 45. 47. 50. 50. Knowles, 50.
And the 50 break by Tony Knowles wraps it up, the highest break of the match so far, so he opens his account, now trails by 2 frames to 1.
Yes, Tony Knowles pulls one back, and that was a frame in which Steve Davis didn't even pot a ball. To see if Tony Knowles can level the match in frame 4, join us in a moment. Back to the final of the Jameson International Open, the holder Steve Davis leading Tony Knowles by 2 frames to 1. Let's continue now with frame 4.
Frame 4, and Steve Davis breaks off, leading at the moment, 2 frames to 1. And Tony Knowles feeling a lot better now, I would imagine, having opened his account by winning the last frame. That's made a bit of a mistake here in the beginning of this. Choice of 2 reds on here for Steve Davis, either one of which will bring him onto the black.
One. 8. 9. $40. 15. 22. 23.
'And although Steve's route to the final has been with the aid of comprehensive victories, he hasn't really hit any high breaks, and his highest is one of 70 against Alex Higgins. There is a prize of £3,750 for the highest break of the tournament, and that is held by young Neil Foulds from London with a wonderful
30.
effort of 140 in a qualifying round.
31. 38.
Well, it was a little difficult to get enough force in that shot. The angle wasn't right for Steve to go into the pack of reds. So that looks like end of break. Now, can he put this white ball on that baulk cushion, as he's been doing so often in this match so
Steve
far?
Davis, 38.
That'll do. Well, that rather wayward shot by Tony Knowles puts Steve Davis straight back in again.
One. Eight. Nine.
Well, he could play on that loose red, or alternatively he could just cannon into the group of reds. And of course, he could have potted the
9.
blue. But Steve's got a 47-point lead.
One. 6. Seven.
And during this tournament, Tony Knowles has won quite a
40.
few frames from substantial deficits, such as the one at the moment. He's done it with the pressure on as well.
Tony Knowles, 14.
But that one went astray. But Steve Davis's lead reduced now to 33 points. Still 6 reds on the table.
Steve Davis, 47. Tony Knowles, 14. One.
Steve could well clinch this 4th frame from this position. Goes into this break with a 33-point lead.
Eight. Nine. 15. 16.
'Well, that black means that Tony Knowles requires snookers.
23.
So this 4th frame looks almost certain to go to Steve Davis. And that, of course, will increase his lead
24.
to 3 frames to 1.
Steve Davis, 24.
Well, there you see the white touching that brown ball, so Steve can't get direct onto the top cushion and attack this ball on the left-hand side of the table. Tony, 57 points behind, quite a huge task for him to expect to take the required snookers off Steve and get involved in a fight to the finish on this frame. Especially when Steve Davis works at angles like that. A pretty good snooker, but a marvellous extrication.
Foul, Steve Davis, 4, and frame.
And Tony Knowles decides that's quite enough of that. So at the interval, Steve Davis leads by 3 frames to 1.
And Steve Davis enjoying a 2-frame advantage at the interval. And now the players have 15 minutes to relax and regroup. And we have time to reflect on the moments when the cameras caught the...
Well, that very good red from Tony Knowles has enabled him to put Steve into quite a bit of trouble. Although there are 3 or 4 reds just to the left of the black there that are a very big target. And there just might be a red into the middle pocket here. It'll be a good shot, but I think Tony may well take it on.
One. Six. Seven. $30. 14. 15. 19. $20.
Well, there are a couple of reds that will go into the top right-hand corner pocket, and he can screw back from this blue and get onto them. Unfortunately, he's stuck with the blue at the moment.
25.
Pink and black being tied up.
$26.
Gone a little bit too far. Played to get the blue into the centre pocket, but should be no problem to get into the corner and follow through.
$31. $32. $37.
No, I think you might have just overdone that. You would like to get to the red to the left of your picture. There is a red in that cluster of 4 will pot, but it would be very risky. And Tony settling for a 40-point lead. And certainly still seeming to retain his confidence.
One.
Really,
6.
Tony Knowles didn't want to disturb that black and pink there. Just opens it a little more, should Steve Davis get back in.
Foul. Tony Knowles 6, Steve Davis 4.
Yes, well, it was really a very careless shot, and I think we may still see Steve let Tony have another go. Well, I think that was quite a peculiar shot, Rex. It looked to be extremely dangerous to me.
Yes, it quite surprised me that choice of shot there, Ray, and almost certainly to leave this red.
1.
He had a difficult safety shot, but to try and clip the other reds thin, but I think he had to take that risk. Certainly could pay the penalty now. Unfortunately, he's just on the wrong side of the pink, and he's going to have to leave a cut on the red into the top left-hand corner pocket. When he pots the pink, the cue ball has got to go over to the left. You can see the angle there. But this should be no problem.
7. Eight. 40.
And what a perfect positional shot there from the world champion.
$15.
And another good shot required this time. And again, inch perfect.
21. 22. 29. 30. 37. 39.
And surprisingly, this is Steve Davis's highest break this afternoon so far.
42.
Scores now level at 46 points each.
46.
And I'm sure Tony there is thinking about those two very careless shots when he had a nice lead.
51.
Now Steve just wanting the pink. So another immaculate break from the world champion. The frame that looked was going against him comes back, and he goes into a 4-frame-to-1 lead.
Yes, Steve extending his lead, very much in charge, and now Tony Knowles under real pressure to pull one back. In frame 6, Davis is on a break of 9. He's trailing, though, 24-21.
Well, the black spot is covered, so
16.
it's placed on the highest spot available, and in this instance, the blue spot.
$17.
Which is quite useful for Steve. That's keeping it out in the open. The red ball just above the pink will go into the
24.
top left-hand corner pocket, and I think he'd like to go a little bit further, but I think he can just hold it onto the other red.
25. Steve Davis, 25.
Good shot there from Tony. He wanted to move that red away from the black, and he knew full well should he miss the cannon onto the other red, he'd got the pink into the corner pocket. And now he needs to get position here to enable him to get behind the other reds on the side cushion. Probably just try and chip one out.
Nine. $16. $17.
He's got some problems here getting position on that final red.
Well, he's putting the cue in the position there, obviously trying to leave a chance at a double. So he's not thinking about just a safety game, playing to
23.
double the red into the centre pocket.
Tony Knowles, 23. Steve Davis, 37. Tony Knowles, 47.
And this a very difficult chance for Steve Davis. Pay great dividends should he get it. And alternatively, if Tony Knowles keeps his head, it could cost him the frame.
One.
11 points in front now.
Six.
Just a little bit too far. Needs to get green and brown. Well, that's a good pot, but unfortunately he's not really nicely on this green, but I think you can put it into the centre pocket. Maybe screwing off the bottom cushion to leave a chance at the brown. And he won't be too bothered about position on the blue, just making sure of potting the brown.
Tony Knowles, 15.
So 25 points in front, Tony Knowles. So 2 snookers required by Steve Davis. So Tony Knowles stops the rot, pinches one back and trails by 4 frames to 2.
So there we are, Steve Davis with a 2-frame advantage, having much the better of things this afternoon, and Tony Knowles has got a lot of work to do tonight if he's going to stop Steve Davis from retaining the Jameson title. We have very comprehensive coverage of this final tonight. Most of the evening's play you will see with us, and you'll see the climax too. I hope that you will join us to do that on Channel 4 this evening at 20 minutes past 10. Until then, from all of us here at Newcastle, it's goodbye.